Senator.
Thanks very much, Cathaoirleach. And I too would like to take the opportunity here this evening. It's a great pleasure to welcome Minister Hayes to the House, and in my first question to him in his new role as Minister of State at the Department of Agriculture, I do indeed wish him every luck with his endeavours. He's well placed and well positioned to serve in that office well. He's well familiar with the issues, and indeed I'm sure he's well familiar with the issue that I'm raising here this evening, which is the decentralisation of the Department of Agricultural offices to Portlaoise. Now, decentralisation, in my view, was a very good concept and a very good proposal, but which was appallingly thought out and thought through, and even worse, its implementation and rollout was even poorer again, and it ended up somewhat of a fiasco around the country in some regards, insofar as that a lot of what was promised and a lot of what was indicated when it was first announced by the then Minister never came to fruition. But Portlaoise, I'm glad to say, has been one of the success stories. It is a good location, a suitable location and a central location for the Department of Agricultural offices. However, it's a victim of its success in some regards, in that while people do get to work in the base in Portlaoise there, the Department of Agricultural offices, as we speak, are no longer just accommodated in the purpose-built office accommodation in the town centre on the Abbeleggs Road, but they're dispersed, Minister, throughout 6 different rented office blocks and office accommodation all over the place and all over the town. And I don't think that makes very good use, very effective and efficient and best practice of the offices and of the personnel, and indeed of the farming community and agricultural community who seek to use its services. Indeed, you know, one is based indeed over a pub and a fish and chip shop, totally remote from the main and central offices. And I don't know, how that is the case, and I don't think it's something that should continue or persist. Also, as I understand it, as of November last year, I think the government and the department are expending, literally tens and hundreds of thousands in rent for office accommodation to these dispersed locations. I think, I'm sure the Minister will probably agree with me in anticipation of his answer, that it would be far more efficient and far more effective if all the staff were housed in a purpose-built or a central unit where they all could operate together for the effective administration of the agricultural department business. And also, I think that this would save the taxpayer money. It would be effective, and it means all the staff could be, as I say, housed in the one complex. So that's my primary question, Minister, and I wait your answer before I come with my supplementary. Thank you.
Cara.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Firstly, on behalf of the Minister, let me say thanks to Senator Whelan. Well, first of all, for raising this issue, but thank him also for the good wishes, and thank you, Cathaoirleach, for the good wishes, wishing me well. I started off in this House many years ago, and I'm delighted to be back in here. I didn't ever dream I'd be coming back in answering queries as a Minister in the Department of Food, so thank you for the good wishes. The background to this is that some 470 Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine staff are housed between several different locations in Portlaoise, as being outlined. This situation, which is a legacy of the decentralisation project, presents many operational difficulties and is making it more challenging for the Department to carry out its functions in Portlaoise. Moreover, the fragmentation of staff and facilities in such option from the point of view of efficiencies and cost effectiveness. The temporary location of staff in small numbers in different locations, initially done to facilitate the decentralisation of the Department to Portlaoise, was undertaken on the basis that in a relatively short period of time, all would be located in a new purpose-built headquarters. The different locations of offices, which results in the spreading of single functions over several locations, seriously impairs opportunity to gain operational efficiencies. In this context, the Department has been working for some time with the Office of Public Work in reviewing its accommodation needs with a view to rationalising its property footprint in Portlaoise. From the Department's perspective, the principal priority in this consolidation is the redeployment of staff in order to reintegrate business area splits between different locations, and insofar as possible, the co-location of different business areas that have crossover functions or can exploit any existing operational synergies from such co-location. Following from this review, the Department and the OPW are examining the possibility of the construction of an extension to the government offices at Old Abbeyleaks Road. These offices are currently state-owned. The extension, when taken together with the existing space, which would also be reconfigured, would result in all of the department staff being accommodated at one location. 2 years minimum would be required to deliver the new building. Savings would commence upon completion as leases, currently costing over £1 million per annum, could then begin to be surrendered. Subject to a tendering process, full payback would be realised when a relatively short period of time after completion and occupation. A detailed proposal is being finalised by the Department and the Commissioners for Public Work, and this will shortly be submitted to the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform for their consideration. The consolidation of the Department staff will derive many benefits both to the Exchequer and to the Department itself. As previously stated, the cost of providing temporary accommodation for staff in Portlaoise is in excess of £1 million per annum. Value enhancement will also be derived by the Department in terms of improved utilisation of resources and operational effectiveness and efficiencies. The Public Service Reform Plan provided by the Government will deliver greater value for money through efficiency management of the government estates owing to a smaller physical footprint meeting the needs of a reformed public service. The situation in Portlaoise represents a unique opportunity in terms of delivering on this commitment. It could be argued that the current situation in the location represents a microcosm in terms of the issues that the reform of property assets management in the wider public service will attempt to address. A recent review of the state's property asset management portfolio states that the cost of office accommodation after salaries represents the largest portion of central government's administrative overheads. In this context, economies must be found by departments in their use of office space in order to contribute to the budgetary consolidation that must be found in the area of public service property. The review includes several key potential strategies to assist in exploiting savings and efficiencies in property, namely, number one, reducing expenditure on rent within the leasehold portfolio through lease surrenders. Number two, consolidations existing accommodation through more intensive utilisation of space by way of standardisation of space allocation, space norms and accommodation fit out. Investing in the modernisation of own buildings to realise efficiency benefits over the longer term. The proposals outlined for rationalisation of the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine accommodation in Portlaoise ticks all the above boxes. Rationalisation will lead to surrendered leases, consolidation of existing space and modernising of owned property will ultimately contribute considerably to budgetary consolidation in the medium to long term. The Portlaoise project, if brought to fruition, has the potential to be exemplary of property rationalisation and set the benchmark for future projects of a similar nature. And in fact, from dealings I would have had with the people in Portlaoise, I have to say they have an excellent staff there and they need what is going to be delivered to them in the future. So, thank you.
Very brief question, Senator.
Indeed. Thanks very much, Caroline, and thank you very much, Minister. I think that is the most comprehensive and constructive and positive answer. I think you're right that the staff in Portlaoise are exemplary in carrying out their duties. It is unfortunate, and I think not best practice, that they are dispersed all over the place. It's interesting that there's 500 staff there. Is an important employer in Portlaoise and in Laois and in the Midlands. And I think it's I welcome indeed the department's commitment to the Department of Agriculture based in Portlaoise, that it plans to draw plans to invest and construct an extended office which would be in public and government ownership, and to the offset and the advantage to the taxpayer and the Exchequer would be to save in what are very expensive rental properties, as you pointed out, in excess of £1 million a year. It's a lot of money, and as you say, if that was to be rolled out and replicated around the country, it would amount to a considerable saving to the government and the taxpayer. but with an added benefit, Cathaoirleach, that it would not impact on the staff, or it would not impact on the provision and the delivery of frontline services. So that is the way to make savings, I believe, within the public service, and I'm very grateful to the Minister for his answer.